What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 1 versus 1 tournament game for you. And you are going to see that I am using the greenskins like I will be for the rest of Shadow's tournament. And I am facing off against JonTaun with his infamous Empire. Now, I don't know if you guys know JonTaun. He's definitely one of the top, I think he's top 50 right now. He's one of the better players. His Empire is his go-to guy. So he's also got a YouTube channel. I want you guys to make sure to check it out, just like everyone in Shadow's tournament. I'll go ahead and post some links to challenge.com so you can see how the tournament's progressing. You can kind of see what the different scores are, how the different rounds are going, and who's playing who. So the general rules of the tournament, you can only use 3 heroes, 6 of 1. If you're using a single unit entity like a giant, you can only have 2 of those. You know, there's just some general rules just to keep things having fun. So let's go ahead and first we're going to go ahead and show what we've got here. So you saw in the back there I had those Goblin Wolf Riders, and besides that I do have a big front line. So we've got some Orc Biggins, I've mixed in some Nasty Skulkers, and so we've just got Biggins and Nasty Skulkers in there. And I've got the Nasty Skulkers because they do have that armor piercing. So while the Biggins do have a good amount of weapon strength, the armor piercing will really help in case there's great swords or cavalry, something like that. But right behind them you see we've just got some goblins with spears. And we do have 3 chevrons in those. So they've got some silver shields, and I just wanted them to kind of get in there with those Nasty Skulkers. And I figured between the 2 of these groups, for pretty cheap, we could deal with cavalry quite well. Here from my legendary lord, we've got the infamous Grimgor Ironhide. So he is just badass. He is just so strong. 450 armor piercing weapon damage. He's got a ton of armor with 110, and he is just really hard to kill. For my hero there, we've got the Goblin Big Boss on a spider, and we've got my Orc Shaman here. And I have brought really only 2 spells. We've got Foot of Gork, which just does a ton of damage. And we've also got Fist of Gork, because now if you see it, imbues magical damage. So that really should help the greenskins against anyone who uses ethereal units. Here in the back, you'll see we've got our Regiment of Renown, the Hammer of Gork, that Goblin Rock Lobber. That thing will do some major damage. We've also got 2 groups of Black Orcs here, the elite Greenskin Infantry. We've got the Warlord's Boys here in the back, these Night Goblins. And we've also got a Goblin Firing Line. We've got 2 groups of Goblin Archers, as well as 1 group of the Rusty Arrows in there, the Regiment of Renown. They do armor sundering, and their melee is poisonous. So we've just got a pretty big army going here. And we're just going to be trying to do major damage with the Hammer of Gork. And I was hoping maybe he'd have some cannons or something I could knock out with these Wolf Riders, but not this time. So for JonTaun, you can see here, he's got Boris Todbringer up there on that eagle. Griffin, sorry. So that is just nasty. Boris has got that healing. I mean, if you look over here, he does have the Midland Runefang, which replenishes his hit points. He's got the White Cloak of Ulrich, so he's just constantly debuffing around him, and he is just nasty. He causes fear and terror, and he'll be doing some major work. Here for his front line, you'll see he's got a bunch of spearmen mixed in with some flagellants. So those spearmen and flagellants, they won't be able to do too much against those big, you know, Black Orcs and the Biggins, but they will. So you know, tie him up, and hopefully that'll allow. It looks like he went heavy on the cavalry. So you see, besides flagellants and spearmen, he does have Reichsguard. He's got Reichsguard here. He's got the Royal Outdoor Griffites. He's got a couple more groups back here. He's got 2 more groups. 1 Empire Knights, another Reichsguard. Look at that rock. You can see some rocks there, trying to just hit it. You know, see if they can hit a few of those cavalry. I mean, if they could get in there and do some damage, that'd be great. Here you see he does have the silver bullets. So that's that Regiment of Renown Empire firing line. I mean, these guys do magic damage, they do armor piercing, they do everything. They're super strong, and they're going to be a big important part of this game. Here in the back you see he does have some reserve spearmen, and he does have a light wizard. So we take a look here at this light wizard. Look at him walking there with those robes. Looks like a bishop, and he mostly just has Net of Ammontok. So he doesn't have I'm not sure what else he's got there. He does have a couple of spells. So he's got Net of Ammontok. He's also got a Power Stone and a Channeling Staff. So it looks like his whole goal in life is to get enough magic, winds of magic, to be able to cast nets over and over again, to kind of use these cavalry units to kind of get in there, charge, and get back and do whatever damage. So this is kind of a long one. It's the second game of the tournament that I played here. So, you know, Group B, we'll see how we go. Right off the bat, you'll see I'm just going to be firing. The Hammer of Gork, I'm trying to fire with that as long as I can. And also, I've realized at this point that there's nothing for me to really get my my Wolf Riders into. I hadn't seen the silver bullets yet, but I'm just going to kind of try to charge them in and just cause them to do some havoc. They're not very expensive, and if I could kill a couple of Griffites or maybe get him to turn around and chase me, that was really what I was hoping for. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh man, let's go ahead and let's slow motion that. This is just a nasty charge. Look at that. We've got all sorts of things charging in there, all sorts of craziness going on. That is that's not what I meant to do. Look at that. So we've got all of those Reichsguard, all of those Empire Knights coming and charging in there, but luckily we've got them tied up with nasty Skulkers and Goblins, and just we're able to, I mean, look at that. That smoke bomb, that just severely reduces the speed, and once these Black Orcs are able to get in there, we're able to start actually look at the health. So these Reichsguard are actually starting to take some good damage. And there's the big foot. So that actually was, look at those flagellants and look at that. So we had the big Foot of Gork over there. And besides that, we've actually got Wog and Stand Your Ground going. So here in the front line, these Warlords boys are actually starting to do some good damage. These flagellants and the Goblins are actually standing up pretty well. Besides that, over here on the left, you'll see the Spearmen and the Flagellants are kind of mixed in there. And so we're doing okay. Not so for this Goblin Big Boss. So the Royal Outdoor Free Fights got there, and that Big Boss was out there in the back, and you look at that, he was just pretty much deleted off the map. That was so quick, I almost missed it. So here in the back, you can see my Goblin Firing Squad is actually getting some good shots in at that Light Wizard. Look at that, that actually dropped his health so quickly. Besides that, I mean, oh man, we are getting some heavy hits, but I'm so worried at this point. And we've got these big ends here in the front, and we have actually taken out a good number of his units, his frontline infantry, his spears, and his flagellants, but he still has all of this cavalry. I mean, look at them, they're just charging right in here. He's got this group of Reichsguard, he's got some spearmen here. My Goblin firing line is actually pretty compromised. If we take a look, I mean, look at those guys just lancing those Goblins, but the Rusty Arrows, they're still fighting. We're still doing okay. The Rusty Arrows are actually not too bad. Over here, you see I have given the Fist of Gork to these Black Orcs, and that gives them 62 melee attack, and they do magic damage. So they're going to start cutting through the units over here. This group of Black Orcs, if you see there, they've already got 27 kills, and right up against these Empire Knights and these Spearmen, those Empire Knights, I mean, they're going to get cut right to pieces. Over here on the sides, you'll see that the nasty Skulkers, the Orc Biggins, and the Goblins, they're all routing off there, but they still do have quite a good number of models. And the Reichsguard are continuing to just drop in model count. So each unit of Black Orcs is still fighting, of course. The Black Orcs are always fighting. You can see they're still fighting Spearmen and Flagellants. Since the Flagellants are immune to any sort of terror, they're going to just keep battling. Over here on the right, oh man, look at those Reichsguard charge right into the back of my Black Orcs there. But the Black Orcs are just going to keep fighting. Over here, you see that we've kind of gotten some more units to group up, and it is just, we're just going to have to get them right back in. I mean, the Hammer of Gork is firing again, and you see, it is just an even battle. We've got 750 remaining. He's got 389, but he's got some really elite troops. Oh man, look at those. Oh, we're gonna see a huge charge. Whoa. Those Empire Knights, and here we go. The Reichsguard are gonna charge into the Rusty Arrows, and that is too bad for me. I mean, those Goblins have just been having nothing but trouble. Over here on the front lines, we see that they're still fighting. Those Spearmen and those Flagellants, I mean, the fact that they're unbreakable, that is super helpful for him. We've got 65 kills over here on the left with those Black Orcs, and even though he's charging in the back here, we're actually bringing some of these routing units finally back in. So these Goblins, we're going to use them to kind of tie up these Royal Outdoor Griffites, and hopefully that'll give us time to get Grimgor over here and just kind of start chopping them down. I mean, Grimgor's still got half his health left, and once I get him into the back here, he'll do some of those just sweeping AoE attacks, and hopefully he'll knock those units off. Over here in the back, you'll see that my Orc Shaman has been breaking and wavering, and he has just been really taking advantage of that with both the Silver Bullets and with Boris. So he's pretty much trying to chase my unit off the field. He does not want that shaman to do any more casting. Those Fists of Gork are actually really good buffs now since they give magic damage. Over here on the right side, you'll see that the Black Orcs are still fighting, and these Flagellants and these Spearmen are not going to get through the armor of these Black Orcs. Those Black Orcs are just fighting, and they're going to pretty much finish off any of the units over here on the right side. The Light Wizard is kind of coming in here, and I'm pretty sure they're low on magic. And the Goblin Archers are over here fighting too. So everything is pretty much really spread out. You can see we've got some Goblins and some Biggins, which are kind of coming back online. If you see here, we've got this Hammer of Gork crew, and they're fighting off against these Empire Knights. And actually, the funniest part is, if you see them here, they're actually going to chase them off. So they have chased off the Empire Knights. Those regiments are down there and not playing around. They have actually broken the Empire Knights. They're going to get right back on top, and they're going to use the last of that little bit of ammunition that they have left. Over here on the left side, you'll see the Orc Shamans coming back with a group of the Warlords boys, which are coming back from route. And there is just all sorts of battle to still be had. We've got Grimgor, and he's got Fists of Gork on him. He's got Wog. He's got Foe Seeker. And when we get all of these units charging in here, you see we've got these Goblin Spears. And we have just surrounded Boris Todbringer. So all of a sudden, Boris is actually with 35 melee defense, he's actually going to start taking some hits. But with that big, terrifying mount he's got there, I mean, that Griffin is actually, I mean, obviously these Goblins are not going to stay, but neither are these Spearmen. Any of these weak units at this point are kind of just routing off left and right. You can see here that the Greenskins, we still have a few units left. We're going to kind of try to bring them in. And we have got the Hammer of Gork still online. But it is really coming down to the wire. I mean, this Light Wizard, look at those. This Royal Outdoor Griffiths came in here, and we have just cut down. Oh, man, that Orc Shaman is dead. Oh, and so are the Warlords boys. So they're just ending unit after unit. At this point, it is just too close to call. There is 5 minutes left, and this is just such a close battle. I mean, JonTaun is just a great opponent. I don't know if you guys have seen him before, but he is one of the best Empire players I know. So you can see here, he's actually had enough left for one more Nets of Ammontog, and he is able to just hold me down and charge in there with those Demogryph Knights. So Grimgor is actually, I mean, look at that, it was extended. So they are just held down for such a long time. He is actually at his healing cap though with Boris. So with Boris, he's got Foe Seeker, this Royal Outdoor Griffites. It looks like there's only one or just two models left. But I mean, we're still trying to pull this back together. You see, as I'm continuing to bring in these back routing units, we've still got this group of Black Orcs. So I don't know if you guys know, but Black Orcs are all really high leadership units. If we've got Grimgor still here, those Black Orcs should be sticking together. If you look here in the back, the Hammer of Gork is pretty much out of ammo. I mean, so we've had to drop the... actually, I should be dropping it. There we go. We drop it. We get these unit of Goblins. We're just trying to get everyone back. I'm pretty sure... Oh, man. As soon as Boris charges in on most of these units, though, he routes them right off. So if you see, those Goblin Archers have routed, Biggins have routed, and they're actually taking hits from what's remaining of these Silver Bullets. Silver Bullets still do have a lot of ammunition left for this late in the battle, and I'm really worried because the Black Orcs do not have shields. So we've kind of got our units off here. I think the unit of Spearmen shattered here. I don't think that last unit of 13 Spearmen is coming back. So it's really just coming down to whether or not JonTaun is going to just psycho charge me to death and cheese it out, or if he's actually going to keep fighting. So it looks like he's actually, he continues to fight. So I know he's got these Silver Bullets back here. So, I mean, while he's still got ammunition with them, it only makes sense to be shooting with them. He's kind of charging in here with Boris. I try to surround him with these Biggins, but the second that Boris kind of starts fighting with them, that's when you know that they're going to rout. Oh, did you see just the sheer number of kills? He immediately just routed off that Hammer of Gork crew. I mean, the second he jumped in with that AoE attack, I mean, it was just a spray of blood. We're going to get a few more shots off. He just shattered those those Goblin Archers just by looking at him. And so whatever units I kind of have remaining, all he's got to do is use his flying unit here, Boris, to kind of rout him off and keep him off the field. So keeping together is really all I've got. The few units I've got together here, we've got some Black Orcs and a unit of Biggins, but that is I mean, it's a pretty high number of troops. You see, John's only got 27 troops remaining, where I have 166. So even though some of them are these routing units way over here, as soon as I can, I'll kind of just, group up and look at John just, I mean, oh, there we go. We've lost the goblins. And this is just, I mean, he's been, and you saw how much ammo he had before. Now look at how many is remaining. So he's just been blasting with those silver bullets. He's taking shots at Grimgor. He's taking shots at these Black Orcs. But I mean, now that now that he's kind of caught out all of the units which are routed off, I mean, in returning, he's really got to just come in here. Part of the rules of the game is that both people are attackers, so you cannot like run away and try to draw it out. Since I'm here, he's got to come at me and face the battle. He can't run away, and neither can I. So I just kind of charge, form up and get ready to fight. Look at that. I think that is the last volley. That was the last volley from these silver bullets, and they know it. They're look at that. They start wavering immediately once they run out of ammo because they know they've got to get in here. And they've got to fight these blood-covered, angry Black Orcs. 174 kills on this group. We got 45 on that group of Biggins. You see here the Royal Outweight Givites come in, and Grimgor just immediately cuts them both down. He just jumps in, cuts them down. We've got Boris Todbringer has came in here. And I mean, he is going to be surrounded. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh man, those Black Orcs are just nailing him. His health is down to like 1200 health. And there was not much that he was going to do about that. There's, I mean, he does come in here and, oh wow, he sends those Goblin Spears flying. He jumps in there, spray of blood, sends the Hammer of Gork flying. But in that time, I'm going to try to chase down these silver bullets at this point. So we're going to turn around, we're going to kind of split my army up, and all I want to do is just finish off the remainder of his units. You see the balance of power is a little bit more in my favor, and at this point I know Boris is at his healing cap. I know that Boris is at his healing cap. I know that Grimgor is just a monster. He's ready to fight. Grimgor is the best. He's ready to fight. Look at this. He is going to just go ahead and take Boris down. Boris he's got 1,000 health at this point. Grimgor's got 1,300, but look at that. He's already taken him down half health. We've got this unit of Black Orcs in here. Oh, another big hit from Grimgor. Another hit, 15 health remaining, and that is it. So you look over here, you can see those remaining silver bullets, and the remaining light wizard also shattered, and that was just the end of that. So it was just such a close game for game 2 of the tournament for me. And let's go ahead and take a look at this post-game wrap-up. So if you look here, we got 174 kills with these Black Orcs, 90 kills with these Black Orcs, and they were just in there just doing major work. They were cutting down, as you saw, they were cutting down spearmen and flagellants for like the first 8 minutes of the battle. Besides that, these Biggins, 127, 62, and 45, I mean, they were also able to get good work done against these, spearmen and these flagellants. Luckily, I also was able, on the right side, to get these nasty skulkers. We were able to get them into these expensive Reichsguard in the beginning and use that smoke bomb. And just the utility that comes from having these armor-piercing units kind of mixed in there is really great. Besides that, these Goblin Archers, you saw were shooting down Reichsguard. We were using the Rusty Arrows. I mean, we were able to kind of just do tons of disruption. We even got a couple of shots on those outdoor Griffites. I mean, we were, for the cost, these Goblin Archers were kind of just superstars. And even with this 30 kills almost with those group of goblins, I mean, they were in there, they were resisting. They actually stuck around and came back for quite a few battles. And I mean, when people spend time killing them, that's, if they can get a few kills and waste some time, that's good for me. I really could have done a little bit better with my Goblin Big Boss. He was able to surround him with those outdoor Griffites in the beginning and take him right out. And the Foot of Gork from that Orc Shaman really did help seal that right-hand side. Using the Smoke Bomb first and then the Foot of Gork, we were able to get a good number of kills. I mean, look at that, 75 kills with that Shaman. Grimgor, of course, is a beast. He was able to get in there. Boris went down, 130 kills to Boris, but I mean, the major faction, I think, was just these Black Orcs and Grimgor there at the end. The Hammer of Gork, of course, special mention, 86 kills. It was actually, firing for quite a long time. I blasted out all of its ammo. So if you can use all the ammo on your artillery, that's always a good sign. Here for John's army, 130 kills on Boris. Boris was just a nightmare. He was all over the place. The Light Wizard was able to make it to the very end, which is surprising. I was trying to take him out, but we couldn't get it in there. And just 125 kills on the Griffites, 135 on these Reichsguard. I mean, just look at just the sheer number of cavalry he had. And it was really lucky, I think, that I brought the Skulkers and the Goblins with Spears, because that really, I think, helped me kind of counter this army. I didn't know what he was going to bring. We don't tell each other, anything about the armies. We just know which race they're going to be. But I was able to kind of just pull it out. I mean, 76 kills with this group of Spearmen, 52 with this group. Overall, though, right at the end there, I mean, we were able just to get the job done against Boris, and it was just such a great game. So I'm 1-1. There's a few more guys we got to play. Psychic, and I think Pharaoh War, I think, are the last guys that I need to play within my group. So you guys keep an eye out for the upcoming battles here. Go ahead and check out the links below if you want to look at the tournament on Challenge. Check out my opponents. Check out their YouTube pages. You can see the games from their point of view. And go ahead and subscribe at the end of this video for more great online content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.